Okay, good afternoon all. I hope everyone is well. So, had a news event this morning, non-farm payroll, which has caused this little bit of a spike. So, I did take a trade here. Now, I've passed the one evaluation, as most of you know. Indy, how you doing? So, I took another one out, and I took that as like a penguin trade. Now, we had that sort of negative push down. We've bounced 3 times off all-time highs, and we've rejected them every time, and that pushed down. So I thought there's a good chance we're going to come back up and start down into a channel. So we had that one leg down. We made 2 attempts to go higher, and when that pushed strongly through the EMA, I took a limit order around about here and took it for 4.75 points. I came out about here. Yeah, I took it about here and came out down here close to the lows, but that to me looked like a penguin style trade. Leg down, 2 legs of correction, and then it carried on down. I could have held it, but you don't know whether it's going to get down here and reject off this level. So sometimes when we get this negative news, it recovers quickly. But as we've come off all-time highs, I had a suspicion we were going to maybe have some downward stuff today. So we'll just keep an eye on that. So trading 4 contracts at the moment, 3 in a run. I scalped the whole thing though, which gave me a nice $950 start to the day. So that's useful. So we have got some more news coming up in around about 30 minutes. Consumer sentiment. So we'll just keep an eye on this. So whether we're going to have a break, what I'm looking at is this level down here seems to be respecting. So whether we're going to have big push down, a couple of corrections and a spike in channel. So maybe we push up and start to reflect off this line. We'll see. So just for now, I'll remove that. So let's just put that there. And I'll copy and paste that. What did I just do? Delete it, didn't I? Okay. Nice. Makes for a good weekend. Yeah, it's only a sim, so it doesn't really so much excite me anymore or stress me out. It's a shame, really, we can't trade PAs like a sim or have that same feeling, because there'd be no issue. So we may have a spike and a channel. So the way this is sort of holding at this level makes me think we may come up to this level and push down. So we may have a, greetings. How you doing, bud? Green numbers, yeah. It's only an evaluation, mate. I've started another evaluation. That one's passed. But I took that one. Looked like a penguin trade, leg down, 2 legs up. And when it pushed strongly through the M, I took it around about here. And it worked nicely. I had a suspicion as we've come off 3 times off all-time highs. And obviously the news sent that down. But so there is a possibility that we started off, we touched. But then we seem to be forming this level. So maybe we're going to have a spike in channel, but we'll keep an eye on that one. Yeah, it's a sim. Well, no, it's an evaluation. It's an evaluation. Don't take it away from me. It's an evaluation, so it's still important. But yeah, it's not as it's the next level up from a sim. So we keep an eye on that. So maybe a channel there, and we've had a break. Not sure whether they're going to make a new high there. It doesn't seem to be. I have a feeling we're going to have some down day. Now, one thing maybe you guys can help me out here. I can't quite figure out what happened. Now, market had a big push day yesterday, had a big rally on that last bit, and market finished 5 points off its highs. So why on the daily have we got that big stem for yesterday? It's as if, I mean, that is a big drop down. So that is a 36 point down from its all-time highs. There's the all-time highs. This is where the market closed, about 5 points. So I don't quite know what's going on there. Why is that daily candle yesterday showing like we've dropped 36 points from yesterday's highs? We haven't. That was yesterday's highs. So not quite sure why that's done that. But so let's bring this down to here. In fact, let's put a trend channel down there and see if that works. So let's put that from there. Yeah, maybe. So maybe we are getting a channel down. It's hard to say. Let's keep so we've had a channel break. We'll keep an eye on this. So leg down, bit of a pullback. Not sure that one. What's the NQ doing? So I hope everyone had a good day yesterday. I was chatting with someone earlier. Guy messaged me, Jay, on a different strategy. Well, same strategy, just a different method of going for points. Something Marco's back tested, so I'm going to look into that over the weekend. And I might look at that on for Monday, but we'll see. I'm not sure if it was the J that one of our J's we have in the room. I'm pretty sure he'll let me know if it is. So channel up, break. Let's see if we respect this line. If we do, it is a bit early days yet. So if we can push down from here, maybe we'll look for a lower high. There is a second entry short forming on the 4,000 tick chart. Got a leg down, second entry short. That's on the 4,000 tick chart. This is a bit early days at the moment. It could take you out because it's triggered. So I never tend to. I always wait for the. What's the difference with that trading? No. Sorry, it's the same strategy, just a different point system. Apparently Marco's back tested it, and this guy Jay said he goes for 4 contracts, which I think is a bit high. But he scalps 3 at around 3 to 6 ticks and trades 1 on a runner. So I'm not sure about that. So I'm going to look into that over the weekend and see if we can get maybe a little bit of clarity. Nomad, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're well. So yes, I'm going to look into that. I have a feeling we may get some downwards. So maybe this is just a push, couple legs of correction and a leg down, and maybe we're starting to respect this. I don't know. It's early days. Let's see if we get a lower high. Leg and a leg. Come on, push down. I'm not taking that. Although I like the way that high low is triggered. I'm still not taking it at the moment. Because it could go sideways. I got mixed feelings what's going on at the moment. Let's just remove that. See if we go a lower high. Yeah, so I've just picked up another evaluation this morning. I took that one as a penguin style trade, leg down, 2 attempts to go higher, and when it failed and pushed quickly through the EMA, I'm thinking that is not going up. And I took it around about here. I just held it for a bit. I got out plenty before the lows. It was around about here, I think. Okay, I think this is going to going up. And it's going to break this level. Or maybe not. If this does push up, I think we may be in just a bigger range here. We'll see if it holds. Exponential. I explain the smaller range in 2-tier. That's what I'm playing. It's range from the top to the lows here. See if it breaks. In fact, I'm just looking at a bottom here and a top here. So after the news, we just had sort of 2 legs. Yeah, good day to you, matey. So yeah, I think it's probably likely at the moment. That's probably the safer bet. Let's just bin that a minute. I like to be a bit particular. So yeah, we seem to have, we've got these 2 legs down. We seem to be bottoming here, push up, 2 legs up. I mean, it could still come down and retest this, but I think it's probably looking like a range day at the moment. I mean, who knows? It could continue to work down. It depends. I mean, you know, I tend to see 2 scenarios sometimes with these news events. A lot of times we recover pretty quick. Other times we'll sort of have a couple of legs back and then we'll start to loop down, you know, sort of off the back of the sort of slightly negative news. What was that? It was is the NFP the same as the non-farm employment? What I know about NFP, it's employment not including private house workers and farm workers. I don't quite know why they don't include private house workers or farm workers. It doesn't seem to make sense, really. Employment's employment, isn't it? I mean, a farm worker you would think would just be a self-employed. So I don't fully understand how that works. So leg up, pull back, 2 more legs up. So we do seem to be possibly finding, so there is a possibility, as Exponential says, small range at the bottom, a bit of a range there and something like that here. It was you. Okay, yeah, I thought it might be. I just didn't want to assume. That was me mentioning it. I'm going to look at that at the weekend. Marco backtested it 6 ticks because I know he goes for 6 ticks usually. If I remember, last time I spoke to him, he goes for 3 contracts, 6 ticks. My only slight issue with going for 4 contracts, if you do take a loss, so let's say, Christ, my lag's up again. Glad I looked at that. See, at the moment, say 2.5, so 2.5, tick above, tick below, 3 points. I mean, it's a $600 loss. It's such a big loss, isn't it? I don't know why my lag is messing up again. Let me just... time sync. Let's see if this sorts it out again. It's massive, that, isn't it? Where's my time sync gone? Are you talking to me, Lofi, or are you talking to? It's all right. It's gone down now. Time sync. Close. I had my time sync on. I'm in 6. Okay. You, mate. At the moment, I've picked up another evaluation and I'm trading just 4 contracts at the moment on an evaluation. 1 on a, sorry about the bark in the background. 3 as a scalp and 1 as a runner. But I took them all as a scalp there. That was more of a penguin style, leg down, 2 attempts to go higher, pushed strongly through the EMA. I was expecting it to come down, at least to the bottoms, and I got out. I got out about here. So yeah, it's 6 tick below runners yet. Double top shot there. That one there, yeah. Do you know what? I tend to be no good at picking tops. I don't really know why. It's just not one of my strong points, but I get 2 legs up and it worked. But I just don't see... My issue is going short there is, if you look here, and then there, and then there, and then there, it's making lower highs. So that's my issue with going short there. Now, in this occasion, I would say it worked. Well, it did. It went for about 4 points, but whether we push up or just retest, but it does seem to be making higher lows. That's my concern. We're going there. And in all fairness, I've spoke before about it. I'm crap at them, to be fair. It's not one of my strong points. So I find I have a better run of it. Yeah, you comfortably made 2 points out of that. I find I have a better run of it if I just avoid those. I took it since it was a visual second. Yeah. In fact, to be honest with you, I'll probably take it on an evaluation. I wasn't looking at the time. I was probably chatting. But yeah, it is absolutely a visual second entry short. You got 2 lovely legs up, and we got 2 touches there, 3 touches there, and a touch there. So yeah, that makes sense. Certainly for a couple of points you'd have got out of that. Let's see if this holds and comes down. But yeah, I'm just seeing lower highs at the moment. So I'm not quite sure what this market's doing and whether we're eventually going to take off and come back up to that. Can anybody answer that question? So looking at yesterday, we finished on its high, basically. Well, I say it's high. We finished. That was the high of the day, and we finished. Let's say 5 points for argument's sake off its high. So why is the daily calendar showing such a big stem on? This is today's. Why are we getting such a big stem as if the market's dropped? That stem measures 36 points. It's 4.75 from there to there, so I don't quite know. I mean, we got the ES third 24th, ES third 24th, and this is the daily. I don't quite know why we got that 36-point drop from the highs when we basically finished on the highs. So if anybody can answer that question, I mean, I'll be interested in finding out why. Okay. So maybe, see, at the moment, to me, this looks like 2 legs down. We pushed up, tested it once, tested it twice. It looks like a bottoming pattern, so I would expect it to go up, or at least to make an attempt to go up. And we've had a couple of hits along this line. We've come back and we've managed to push along it. I remember Mac explaining it. Right, it's because daily stops at market close and starts back at okay. I mean, it's not a major issue, but I just thought, am I missing something here? So, yeah, no worries. Cheers for that, Chad. Where's Jay again? Yeah, it was you, wasn't it, Marco? Back tested at 6. I know he takes 6 ticks anyway, doesn't he? No idea if he uses runners, though. Yeah, see, 4 contracts. In all fairness, I think 2 contracts is too much of a psychological pressure for me. Hence my issues. See, I seem to do really well when I'm trading until I take a loss. I think I had 14 trades with 1 loss, which is good run. I look back on my trades and they were good solid trades. About 95% of them were. So I seem to do really well. So, I'm comfortable. I've got enough skills to make money. But when I take a loss, the chance of me getting a loss straight after goes up probably by about 80% or, as a rough guesstimate. So I need to reduce my contract size until it doesn't quite have that effect because, I tend to be a good trader when I'm winning and then, I suppose it's pretty common, but and then when I lose a trade, that's when I seem to get some difficulties. So I think it's a matter of reducing my risk until that level of stress comes down and I can just focus on the trades ahead. Helps me with losses. Usually I have runners banked and cover the losses again. Again, that's just, yeah, I get that. That if you get a runner, it covers your losses. And what did you say? Something like if you get 1 runner every 10. So let's say 10 trades, you lose, say, 3 points. 1 runner gives you 6 points. That would cover you. Yeah, I sort of get how it works, but I think it's playing the numbers game, isn't it? But at the moment, for me, I'm playing the psychological game, so I don't know whether a loss trading that many contracts. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Kids and wives, eh? It makes me chuckle. News. We've got the news coming. It makes me chuckle when my 15-year-old daughter and my wife are arguing. I'm so glad I'm not a woman. No disrespect to any women in there, but they seem to have so many issues with hair, makeup, nails, skincare. Good God, I'm so glad I can literally run my head under the tap and my hair's washed. Kev, how you doing, buddy? I think you are doing very well with 2 contracts. I only trade 1, but I'm not in your level yet. I'm glad you categorise me in a higher level than I do. The problem is dealing with the losses, absolutely. What makes sense, having 1 loss a day rule? You should fly. Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Sticking at 2 contracts and just taking the 1 loss. I'm also torn between how many points I go for, because the numbers tell me you're better off financially if you go for 3 points rather than 2. Because effectively, well, let's not talk about 2. Let's talk about 1.5, because that's what I tend to lose my confidence and come out of a trade and take 1.5 points. So every trade, effectively, I would be doubling my profit. So, trade 1, I make 150. If I'm trading 3 points, I make 300. So I'm up 150. So if I do 3 winning trades in a row, I'm up $450. Effectively, I can afford to lose the next trade and still be up. So if I win 3 trades in a row and lose 1, I would still be profitable. So that's at a winning rate at 75%. But over my last 25 trades, 23 of them made over 3 points, which is a lot more than 75%. So the numbers tell me the sensible thing to do based on my research at the moment is to go for 3 points. Now, so I don't know whether I'm better off coming down to 1 contract and going for 3 points, which would give me $150 profit, whereas I've been trading 2 contracts and only taking 1.5 points, which is still only $150 profit. So 14 days straight. No, it wasn't 14 days. Well, it might have been. I think it's 14 trades. It might have been more than 14 days, because there are days where I had a loss, but I had a green day. But out of these 16 days that I traded, I only had 1 red day. And that's when things went to rat shit. So I think I'm better off trading 1 contract but going for 3 points, because the numbers tell me 3 points is more profitable. Now, I am only basing that on 25 trades, which is not bad, but I think sometimes maybe it's like tossing a coin, isn't it? If you toss a coin 5 times, it could come out as heads 4 times and tails once. But if you do it over 50 times, it tends to average itself out. But I could certainly look back. But, like I showed you yesterday, if I look at Marco's trades, we looked at about 30 of Marco's trades, and only about 2 of them didn't make 3 points. 3 points, 2 contracts, 1 loss, or all won't even feel like the end with those numbers. Yeah. See, I don't know whether 2 contracts and 3 points might lose my bottle, because that's what I mean. I kind of like that, but it's just a leg down, so I'm not taking it. The trouble is, when I was trading 2 contracts, I was losing me confidence and coming out for 1.5 points. Whereas if I go down to 1 contract, it will affect me psychologically slightly less, but I could go for the full 3 points and still earn the same sort of money. So I'm a bit torn as to what to do. You know what I mean? So the more you risk, the more you sort of get a bit itchy feet and think, oh, I don't know. Whereas if you half your risk, I think I'd be more likely to sit and hold for 3 points. Remember in your early days, you had a good trade management where you managed to trail your winners and take more out of your trade. Yeah, I looked at that a while ago. A lot of the times I'd just hold it and wait for that push and then just try and grab as much as I could. But last time I tried that, I lost the first couple of trades. So I kind of thought, screw that. It is hard to know what to do, really, because there are so many different Might be a bit of an overshoot. There are so many different thoughts about, whether to trade. You have considered volatility, not all the time. You have these volatility like these days. Yeah, it is one of those difficult decisions to take. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you take not a brilliant trade, I mean, let's say I was going for 3 points. And I'm trading a range like that, and I wait for a lower high here, and there's only 4 points left, then it's going to make that a bit risky. So, you've got to do it at the right times, because there are times when 3 points is fine, and more in some cases, but there are times when sometimes you're better off just to take 2. Almost always trade for 4 points with a 2-point stop loss. I will hold a runner for 10. Interesting. So you go for 4 points. I know Taylor from Top Pick Trading tends to go between 2 and 4 points, depending. So if we had a channel down here and 2 legs back to the EMA and we were looking for a short here, I don't know, say the short was here. I mean, to get to the lows, there's 10 points. So taking 4 points there, or even 5 points, there wouldn't be a real issue with it. But if we had 2 legs up and there was only 4 points to the lows, then going for the full 4 points might not be the most sensible thing to do. So I do think some decisions are based on the actual trade you're looking at, because if we've had a leg down, 2 perfect measured legs up and a lower high, good chance we're going to make another leg, which could potentially give us a good amount of points. That's where runners can be handy, but I see so many people trading runners and it goes 4 or 5 points and comes down and takes them out. You have to see if you have room. Absolutely. So I think what I might start doing is just trading the 1 contract, because, trading 2 contracts at the moment, if you have a loss, you're talking $275, which is over 10% of your drawdown, really, which is, if you told a professional trader you were trading 10%, he'd call you an absolute idiot. But we are trading on, I'm not using $2,500 of my own money. I've only really put, $175 in. If you equate the evaluation and the fees for the PA. So it is a hard decision to make. So what I think I might do is just go between 2 and 4 points or something like that, depending. Because I think sometimes if you have a blanket set amount and, you've only got a small distance from top to bottom, it doesn't make sense going for a bigger move. Let's go for 100 per day to up 1,500. Do that every day. Yeah, trouble is sometimes, because I tend to go quite strict, but I have a higher win rate, sometimes I have a day without a trade. But yeah, I mean, if I trade 1 contract and try and get 3 points a day or something like that, that's $150 a day. Then if you take off the odd loss, don't get me wrong, Indy, I think if you said to me you could promise me £100 a day, I'd snap your hand off, mate, because that's $2,000 a month per account. I'd be happy with $1,000 a month per account if I could, get there, because 10 or 20 counts. Just watched a video. The guy said it's best to buy the 25 when you recommend the 50 account size. Is that guy something Maverick by any chance? Mini Maverick or something? Is he called Mini Maverick or something? He talks about that. Yes. Okay. I actually like that guy. I think he makes a lot of sense. I agree with that. I do. I think the bit that makes me go for the $50,000 is when I get a payment, I can take $2,000 out as opposed to 1.5. But yeah, it makes sense. If you look, he's got about 3 videos out. Really interesting watch. So when you get a bit of time, but I'd watch the other 2 or 3 because he shows you his equity curve and tells you how he works. But yeah, I think it's Mini Maverick. He just sounds like a switched on guy, doesn't he? I like people who as well as certainly sound like they know what they're talking about, but it makes perfect sense. I actually didn't think about it that way, and when I went and had a look at it, I thought it makes perfect sense. And you know, if you get a $2,600 in the 50,000 account, and you take $2,000 and you blow the count, effectively, you've left $500 on the board. Whereas with the 25,000, you can more or less take it all, I think. So that's something I'm going to keep an eye on, actually. But yeah, he's good to listen to. I'm not sure what's going on here at the moment. But yeah, if anybody doesn't know, is Maverick Mini or Mini Maverick? So look, I think I mentioned him on this in this stream before. Mini Maverick, I think it's him. Yeah, that's the guy there. Yeah, he's interesting to listen to. He trades completely different from us, but he's only got 3 videos. Psychology lesson, top 10 things you need to know, funding secrets. Really interesting watch they are. They're pretty short videos, 14 minutes, 20 and 8, but really good. You know, if you've got a bit of time, I'd watch them. It explains that $25,000 and how to, you know, how it works. But yeah, I'd take a gander at that if I was you. I personally go for 25. The quicker I can take money, the better, in my opinion. You probably could have had 2 pairs based on your last. Yeah, trouble is, I was trading 2 contracts on those with a 50. Whereas, I don't know, I think it'd be too dangerous to do on the 25. You'd have to reduce it to 1 anyway. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Maybe I should give one a go next time. Maybe my next eval should be 25 and give it a go and see how I feel about it. Because you can trade 4 contracts, can't you? Okay, we got that news now. You can trade 4 contracts maximum. And in all fairness, even a year or 2 down the line, you're probably not going to trade that many anyway. So it's not restrictive. Certainly if you're planning on building the account. Okay, so we've got this news now. It doesn't seem to be doing a lot. Consumer sentiment. So just quickly, the NQ, what I'm looking at here. We've had this break new low from however you think, 2 legs down, break new low. We've had this push up break. I mean, you could say that is a break in a new high, but it actually kind of fits really nice. So I would say it looks like we're pushing up maybe to these highs. So
order filled.
I'm going to take that. Because there's a short there. I think that's okay. I'm just going to give that an extra tick. Just based on what I'm seeing. I might be wrong, but we'll see. There and there. There's a lower high which is triggered, which I like. We may want to attempt to go higher. Or am I misread this? No, I've misread this.
Target filled.
I think I've misread this. Or have I? Yeah, I think I've misread this. Yeah, I have. Okay, I got out for minus a tick. Minus a tick, yeah, minus a tick. Okay, I can live with that. I think I misread this. I got an overshoot. Push up.
Order filled.
Or have I made a complete mistake here? Let me have a look. overshoot. 1, 2, 3 attempts to go higher. Yeah, news is done now. Didn't really do much, to be honest. We're making multiple attempts to go higher and struggling after the overshoot, so I'd expect that to come down. It looked to me like there was a trap or two there, so we got a... There's definitely a failure there, which is triggered, pushed up, but it hasn't broken that, so I think this is coming down. Let's have a look. It looks to me like it's trapping some longs. Looks to me like it's trapping some longs. Yeah, I think this is coming down. Yeah, it looks like one of those ones that are trapping longs, in which case I'd expect it to come down. Maybe we might have a big drop here. Let's have a look. I don't want to be too greedy. Do is follow that down. We've got an overshoot there, a push up. It looks like it's trapping longs, so we got a new high, try go on. So that was a failure there. What did you say? Why did I go short? There was a failure there, and it looked like it was trapping longs. See if it traps some more longs. So I should have got out a bit earlier. Let's have a look. Leg down, 2 attempts to go higher, failure, push through the EMA. This is coming down, I think. Come on down. Let's get below here, really, I think. Come on, drop your bugger. So what I'm going to do is put that there just in case. Get below here. There'll probably be some stops there as well, thinking we're pushing up. Do I hold on or do I be too greedy? I can see this just dropping. Come on, baby. Let's get below here and then here. Down we come. Come on. Push, push, push. That's why I like 3 to 1. Yeah. Well, that's if the runner works. Just looks like an overshoot to me, that does. We've pushed back. We've made multiple attempts to go higher, so I feel a big drop is in order. Could be completely wrong. Now, strong push down now, come on. It's a nice failure on the... no. Starting to go a bit sideways, this is.
Target filled.
Yeah, it's starting to go a bit sideways. So what did I get? 300. It's starting to go a bit sideways. See, there is a possibility. I'm just looking on the NQ after this push up. We got down, leg up, 2 legs back, higher low, and a push up. So it's just going a bit sideways. I think it's going to come down, but see, for me, we got a channel up there, an overshoot, a pullback, multiple attempts to go higher. And then I expect it may come rocketing down. But, you know, when you think it's going a bit sideways, maybe I just get out for a few $100 is a sensible thing. In all fairness, I wouldn't trade a PA like this. I mean, what is it? $33 at $35 at the moment. It's about £26 English. I couldn't go out and have 5 pints of beer for that price. So you just know there's not a lot of risk on the line. And I think, you know, when you've got risk, you trade accordingly. If you're risking $10,000 on a trade, you're going to be shaking like a leaf. If you're risking $10 on a trade, it's not going to bother you in the slightest. My chart is freezing every 5 minutes. Crazy. What I do is reboot your system, mate. I'll tell you what to do. I don't know whether you have the Apex. Apex. Where is it? Apex Desktop Assistant. I'm just going to open it up, see if you can see it. Where is it? Let me see if I can bring it in. I don't know. I can I? Where is it? Here it is. I don't think I can move it. Yeah, there it is. Apex Desktop Assistant. I've downloaded it from Apex. What you do is if you click on Toolbox, NinjaTrader 8, please shut down first. And what it does is it clears all your data, all your cache and all that sort of stuff. I find when I have that, yeah, if you go onto the Apex website and just search in Apex Desktop Assistant, or Apex Desktop Assistant, let me just have a look again. I'll show you again. Apex Desktop, I think it's Assistant, but what it does is it clears all your cache, and I do that at the end of every day, and I don't get any freezing or anything like that. Yeah, it's pushing up. I did think my concern was it's going a bit sideways, and we've had this drop leg, and we could get up, make a new high, so you don't know. So sometimes when it starts to go sideways, I think you're best off just getting out. Yeah, Kev, I do that at the end of every day. First thing I do is set my stream for tomorrow, mark my chart up, and then just click that, and then just get rid of all you can do it if you go into NinjaTrader. I think it's been something else, and then just delete stuff. So I've got 2 legs down here. We're getting a bit flat here, see, so yeah, but it just clears everything. It stops things clogging up because it can slow you down. I'm not uncertain this is going to make a new high. Tools and database management. Yeah, there is a way of doing it. I can't think how to do it. Let's have a look. You've got to go into NinjaTrader 8. Oh no, this is not the way. There is a way of doing it, but if you download that, it does it all for you, and it's really quick. So I do that at the end of every day, and that way you get no lagging or anything. Just going slow. Just quickly looking on the 4,000 tick chart, this to me looks like it's just going sideways. It's another reason why I got out. We could have a drop, but I'm not sure at the moment. Clear that helps for multiple accounts. Yeah, you're best off getting rid of it as I just do it daily, whether it makes a massive difference, but I don't get any issues with things. Well, you guys know things freezing up. It's very rare I get a technical issue. So I'm glad I got out there because see, I thought I'm looking at an overshoot there, but perhaps it's just not. So if I'd have held that, I'd have got out. So at least I got was I down to 9, wasn't I? So 9, 253. I got 350 out of that. You have a fast computer. I have a block of wood. Yeah, I think that does make a difference. It must do. It's not mega fast one. Mine's I think it's a Ryzen 7 3600, 37, something like that. I've got is it the GeForce 2060 graphics card, which is not a mega one. It's just, it's enough to do multiple screens. I've got 32 gig of RAM, but I bought, what I did when I built it is I just bought good quality parts. because the cheaper quality parts, they tend to break down easy. So I thought if I'm going to invest in one. But next one I get, if I built another one now, I'd be picking up a Ryzen 9. They're not mega expensive, and I know graphics cards prices have dropped dramatically because of the price of electric. So people who used to snap graphics cards up as miners, the price of domestic electric has gone up that much. It's just not worth mining anymore, really. So the price has dropped out the bottom for graphics cards. So yeah, when this was going up and down, I decided to get out on a low note. So there is some resistance there. A couple of bars there, you can see it. 1, 2, 3 there, 3 there. So after this news event, 2 legs back, it does seem we're going more. I mean, there is a bit of an up channel, yeah, but we've had a break of it. Whether it is or not, I don't know. It's negligible, isn't it, at the moment? But I think it's more sideways. The trouble is sometimes when you have these channels, they can distort the picture, really. You can be focusing on just going long, whereas sometimes it's good to just reset and get rid of everything and redraw it. I think that's pretty much arranging at the moment, I think. Did I go short? Was it a failure? I can't remember now. I'll have to have a look after. Let's see what holds here. Yeah, perhaps it's not an overshoot. Perhaps this is just a break. Trouble is, when it does this, I've got in trades like this before, and all of a sudden it drops, so that's what I was expecting to drop. I mean, it did to a degree, but not quite as much as I was expecting. From the bottom, it went down about 4 points, something like that. Yeah, I think a quickish computer, I think, helps. Put it this way, if you go on to, where's that bit of software? This is a great bit of software, this is. I should do this on live on stream one day. It's called User Bench or User Benchmark. And what it does is it assesses your computer. It sort of looks into the hardware and it goes through like a setup phase, like a processing phase. And it tells you where your computer is alongside, every other computer that's ever used it. So mine was about second from top, and mine's not a really quick computer. It's only a Ryzen 7. That's who said I. Was it really? I remember Daryl Martin did a video about it, and he was talking about speeds of computer. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure he said he had about 230 gig of RAM, which absolutely makes no sense. I didn't even think you could fit that much in a computer. Link of the news indicator. Are you asking for the link of the news indicator here? It's from Mac's site, that is. So you've got to be able to get that, you've got to pay for it, which is about $125 a year. You can use it then, and that's what all these are for. So, I mean, you can go onto things like 4X Factory and find out exactly what we got for the day, and then type them on your chart yourself if you want. I do like having it on there. You can set it to sort of high, medium, or whatever, and change all the colours and size. So I do think it's useful. But I wouldn't pay $125 just to have it. Just go on to 4X Factory, and I think that's what a lot of traders use. And that will give you all the information you need for the day ahead. Found it. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. I think Forex Factory's free, isn't it? There's a bunch of them. They're just news channels, really, aren't they? Okay, so we've had this channel up here. We've had a break of it. 1, 2 pushes up to a new high. Use Forex. Yeah, it's everything you need, isn't it? Really. I mean, I only have US news here. There's not much other news, UK news, or any type of European news really that affects this market. Obviously, it's the S&P 500, which is the top 500 US companies. So nothing I've found news from any other country affects it. So I only have the US news. Nothing in the UK. Nothing in the UK makes a difference. I'm interested if we get up to these all-time highs again, because we had one bounce there, straight off it, another bit of a bounce there, a bit of sideways. We touched it again and then came back down. And obviously, then the news caused that. I know I saw Wilson put a video up. He shorted the news, didn't he? In all fairness, if you want to take a punt, it's probably not a bad idea to put a stop there and enter the news for a short. If you wanted a bit of a gamble, I know some do. They'll have 2 charts up. They go long on one and short on another for 6.25 points. 10 contracts. Usually one of them passes on evals. I don't do it myself, but I believe it works pretty much always. I think that's what he did. I think Wilson went short there. I think he anticipated because of the highs. He put his stop above here, and I think he went 5 contracts in his order down here to pass the evaluation, and it worked straight away. So it's hard to know what's going on there, whether this is going to come back or continue to push up. I just started that carnivore diet 5 days ago. I got up to 16 stone trading this last 12 months. I'm 5'11", so it's not huge. It's not huge, but I need to lose a couple of stone. I got to say, I never thought I could get sick of eating steak and eggs. I'm quite a meat lover, but Christ almighty, you have it in 3 or 4 days in a row. It's amazing how flipping sick and tired of it you get. Which indicate you have to show the profit and loss on the left side of your orders. It's called... and it's free, you'll be glad to know. It's called... is it Order Line Decorator? Chart Enhancer. Yeah, it's called Order Line Decorator. Yeah, Order Line Decorator. Just Google Order Line Decorator and it's free. It's really useful because sometimes when you get in a trade, you're looking left, aren't you, and trying to work out how many points you're risking or profit. But a quick glance, it'll tell exactly what your profit, your loss will be. I like it actually. So looks like 2 legs up there. So just at the moment, I'm going to get rid of that. Maybe this is just a failed break out of this range. I do have a feeling we're coming back in. Just looking at the NQ, we got that leg up. We had a break. 2 attempts at a new high. I don't think we quite got one. So leg and a leg. I wouldn't be shocked if this comes down now. So I like the way there's a bullish bar there and it's triggered. So maybe we're going to have a leg and a leg.
Order submitted.
So I'm just thinking maybe a short back there might not be a bad idea. Trade that on the engulfing because there may be some stops there. No, I'm not a fan of this. No.
Order cancelled. Order submitted.
No, I don't like it.
Order cancelled.
There could be a bigger channel up. So you've had a push up and a break. Yeah, there could be another channel up there. There may be. Yeah, it's holding that line nice, isn't it? It is. Yeah. So, leg break. So it's triggered me and snapped back. So it was a good decision to leave that. There is a possibility we could be having another, just a bigger channel here. We've got a push up, a break, and it does look like there may be something like that. So I don't think it's wise just to go short just yet. This is the NQ, by the way. Leg up, leg up. We do seem to be holding nicely on this line, so maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But it's a good reason just to sit tight, I think. There is a second entry long there, but it's a bit congested, and we're at the top of this, so there is a possibility. See, on this line, there is a possibility that maybe this is just a slightly. It could be trapping some longs here and drop. I'm just not sure at the moment. We're below the EMA looking slightly. Yeah, if you took that one, it triggered you and it's going to stop you out. It's not really a high low anyway as such. There is a second entry long, but it's just a bit congested here. This could drop quickly. The NQ's looking a bit dicey at the moment. It could just drop. But it did seem that it made, yeah, so if you took a trade there, even that one, yeah, it's just eating that one up straight away. So, leg and a leg. So,
order filled.
Not a bad place to go short there. Let's just go for a bit. I won't be too greedy. Maybe a couple of legs down there. Go on, eat me up.
Target filled.
Okay. Leg and a leg. I don't want to go any more. Just in case. Yeah, bottom's dropped out of the NQ. I had my suspicions. So we had this channel, we had a break, we had 2 attempts to go high and it just didn't work and drop. So this is probably going to come down a little bit. was a slightly bigger risk than I would have wanted. Yeah, it's a fair old risk, that 4.5 points. I know we're on a sim, but even so, that's a $900 loss, that is, on 4 contracts, so I didn't want to be greedy. So it is a failure. It's trapping some longs there and there. So that was just a quick point. My issue with holding that any lower is we're still sort of up here and then here making higher lows, so there is a possibility. Yeah, there may be a slightly bigger channel. We got 2 legs, which is why I got out here. So maybe coming down, but that's only a first entry really. There's the failure. Too far for lower high, just a small channel down and a break. So it's only a first entry. We can get a lower high here, then we'll have a go. I wouldn't be shocked if that gets stopped out. Same again. We see this so many times. You get a nice bearish bar there. If you don't take it, it gives you that one, and then it starts to go, come on, follow me, and then turns. If you don't take that one, excuse me, it gives you that one and tries to suck you in, and then you go, yeah, okay, I'll take that one. It triggers you and then stops you out. I see that all the time. Whether it works or not, I don't know. But It's getting a bit choppy now, isn't it? Hate it when it goes almost still. It usually moves quite quickly. Let's see if it has a bit of a pop. Yeah, I thought it might have eaten that one up. Flatten that, say. Flatten that channel a bit. And it all fits on about here. Yeah, maybe. We've missed this bit though, haven't we? The bull channel. Oh, you mean this one here? Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah, let's put that back. Oh, there's a higher low there. Interesting.
Order filled.
Let's come out of the highs. Don't want to be too greedy. Come on, push, you bugger. Push, 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 push.
Target filled.
I like that. High low. Nice. We look like we were racing up there on the NQ. We had a break. 2 attempts to go higher. 2 legs back. Nice strong push up. That was worth a bit of a punt. I wouldn't trade like this personally on the what's it, but what I like, we got 2 legs down. We pushed up. We respected the top of this channel, and then we held twice above with a nice bullish bar. So so that just looks like 2 legs down, I think, doesn't it? Let's remove that one. Okay, bigger channel. Yeah, absolutely. Another reason to go long there then. So what did I get out of that one? Not a huge amount, was it? 725, 0.825, 0.5. Yeah, it's a failure, yeah. I like the way it sat on top of there as well. Just 2 legs back, wasn't it? So, was it 0.5? Failed second entry short, 0.5. Second entry short. Plus, sorry, that's an equals. Plus, hold on. There we go. 1.5 points. Yeah, nice failure. There's going to be some shorts there, surely, from the failure, isn't there? Maybe some there as well, which is triggered. I like the way that it's tested the bottom of this channel and then tested the top of it. So it does look like, sorry about that. It does look like, in fact, let's just get rid of that. I think it's probably a bit negligible, really. So we've had these 2 legs down. It does seem like we've got a slow hike. So that would have gone for considerably more. I took it a bit late and wanted to be out for the highs. It's just we started to surge up on the NQ, telling me we're likely to break the highs. The bigger channel we got on the NQ. It's the kind of trade you wait all day for. Yeah, I had it more of a range, so that's why I was a bit concerned going along. But when you adjust the channel, Makes perfect sense. We come off the lows. Yeah, it's a nice failure, that, isn't it? Touch, 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 confirming that trend. There's a fair chance we're going to push up there to the highs. There's going to be some stops there for sure. I think it maybe come down again to the bottom. It certainly went well for. Well, it jumped straight over and off it went. Usually that's a good indicator. It's a good indicator. So yeah, there's 9+ points. Seems a shame just to take a 1.5, really, doesn't it? But I was still thinking more the range, but I think that's a smaller range. Yeah, I believe Ninja Trader is quite potent when it... potent's not the wrong word. It requires quite a lot of CPU power, I believe. Somebody told me that. I can't remember who it was. So yeah, just looking on, we seem to surge up there. That told me we were likely going to break these highs, which is why I sort of spotted the higher low and jumped in against my... my concern was we were coming back into this range, but we had that channel up there. We sort of got one leg back, 2 legs up, 1 leg back, and off it went. So basically leg up, 2 legs back with a couple of other legs in between, and then off it went. So we're actually above highs today. So we are pushing up to all-time highs again really strongly. So it'd be interesting to see how it reacts. Because after those 2 pushes back, my suspicion was we were going to come up and start working down, but I could have been further from the truth. I mean, that's strong, isn't it, there? I mean, from there, 5, 10, 15, it's just pushed straight up strong. Let's see how it holds. So, very close to all-time highs. Let's see if we get a rejection. This channel there, that's certainly an overshoot. I think there's a good chance we could bounce from here. I mean, I'd certainly expect at least a bit of a pullback. In fact, I wonder whether we're just doing that. That actually makes more sense. Touch, 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 touch. So maybe just a bit of a spike. And it fits nice there, doesn't it? It misses such a lot of this, so we got a touch. If you go from the spike, touch, touch, touch. Close enough. Touch, touch, touch. And it fits nice on the top. So that's definitely an overshoot. Having said that, it's mainly arranged anyway, so I think it... That's a very strong push up, so I would absolutely expect it to at least have a decent pullback, probably before we hit that. I mean, looking on the NQ, we've broken the day's high, so I'd expect at least a bit of a pullback, but you can never quite know, do you? You know, trial with Wilson, he just noted that trade was a perfect setup. Yeah, if I'd have had this channel, if I'd have had the channel at the time, is that perfect setup? Yeah, I'd say that's a 9.8 out of 10. I would leg up, pull back, higher low, 2 legs back, higher low. Yeah, absolutely bloody useless if you've still got the range. The trouble is, if you're looking at the range, where did I have it? There was multiple touches, so I had it here. See, so I thought this was just failing. It was going to retest this, but when it pushed above, you never quite know. But it just goes to show you take away that and put the channel, then makes perfect sense. But yeah, I'd agree with that. It's probably about as good as they come. I talk Wilson a lot, actually, most days. He's okay. He's a nice guy. He managed to get 11,000 out of those accounts that he blew, which is why I don't think he was swinging from a rope. Why he came straight on and made a video, because if you'd have lost 2 like that, for me, I think I'd have ended up in a bar for a week, going through bottles of scotch quite rapidly. So the fact that he got 11,000 is quite decent. Well, at least it's a sweetener anyway, if you look at it like that. So let's have a look here. So we're very close to the all-time highs there. We're about 4 points away, 5 points, something like that. So are we going to have a pullback, or are we going to work down now? It's hard to say. What's the NQ doing? So we've had a break on the NQ. We've had a new high. So it's hard to say. I'd have liked to have seen it push for that. Maybe it will. But usually when you have that, a break at a new high. But I always like to see 2 pushes up to a new high before I think about maybe coming down. So maybe we are going to push up after all. I mean, that's a strong push to this, isn't it? I don't know if anybody's got bookmap. Is there lots of sell orders above there? Yeah, it just goes to show, though, doesn't it? If you get the good setups, forget 2 points, they just rock it up. Lots of sellers at 46,945, 40, 4695, 4695. You mean 4965? Is that what you mean? You've got 4695. So I'll say 4695. That's about 300 points below where we are now, isn't it? 4965. Yeah, I did wonder whether there is. I think shorts are hoping we get up here. I mean, realistically, we've had 1, 2. Let's call this. I mean, I wouldn't call that. Maybe we had 1, 2, 3 touches there. Yeah, you would expect that to drop down. So if we can push above there and get a higher low, it might be worth a quick short there. So certainly wouldn't think about it. That's if it does get up there. It may not, but price does move to liquidity, so it may do. But we have had a bit of an overshoot here, so it may come back a bit first before it does anything else, before it eventually makes it up there. Let's see if this lower high traps anything. If we can get a higher low here, then we'll see. Another big area is 49.75 up here. Yeah, see, this is the highest we've ever been on the ES. But yeah, you don't know whether people are going to sell here. Just grab a move or something. It's hard to say, really. So there is a possible second entry long there. Because we've had an overshoot, I'd be a little bit nervous about going long just yet. Because the overshoot could bring it down. could trigger in. Stop the 8. If that bullish bar triggers, it may trigger a failed second entry long. If it comes down, stops it out, because the overshoot, it may do that. Whether you think this is the channel break new high or this is a bigger channel break new high, it has technically played out. It hasn't triggered it. It doesn't always, though, does it? Sometimes it just doesn't quite hit the spot. Could still go up. Trouble is, usually after an overshoot, it'll either do one of a few things. One, it'll either break, push up, make a new high, and then drop like a stone, or just have a bit of correction and go on its merry way. Or on the odd occasion, it'll just break out on one side and do the opposite there and carry on. So this is getting a bit congested because it could do either or here. There's some shorts, possibly some shorts in a trade there. Thinking about the overshoot, break new high, coming back maybe with a lower high with the thoughts of another leg down. But it could trap those. I doubt, but the long didn't trigger, did it? That's if you follow our strategy, but the long didn't trigger. Let's see what this. If this pushes up above here, then we may get up, but it's a bit congested, so it could go either way. Your guess is as good as mine. I'm just sitting tight, I am. It is a second entry long, but it's congested. Let's see if this triggers this and drops. I like the way it's sat on top of there, so I think you've got to give it a little bit of credit for that. Just, I don't know, because of the overshoot, that makes me nervous. My lag's up again. I don't know what's going on. It certainly just started doing it the last couple of days. Let's try the time sync again, see if that sorts out the problem. I hate that. It's getting worse. Can't take a trade at the moment with that lag so high. Settings. I'm just going to have to restart my Ninja Trader. Lag's ridiculous. I'm not sure why that's happening. Excuse me, just a second. See if this improves things. I've got it, mate. Didn't seem to work. I opened it. Didn't seem to work. I've got it down here. Where is it? Right there. I've got it there. It's just I opened it. Didn't seem to work. Let's see if this sorts out the problem. What is going on here? That's better. Yeah, that's better. I think these looks like it's sucking in lungs. I just don't like the way it's slowly going up here because it could drop. We've had that overshoot. A lot of times we'll go up, try and make a new high, and then tank it. Rank it. Cheers, Chris. I'm saying you're about good job about sorting that out. I haven't done anything else useful today. Yeah, I think it's dangerous going long too far from the MA because it's coming to the top of possibly a range area. So that will be dangerous for me. You just don't know whether we're going to make a couple of attempts low before we push up, or indeed just make a couple of attempts to go higher before we come down. So for me, this is a bit of a no-go area. If you took that one, I'll be shocked if it doesn't stop that bar out. It's just way too far from the MA. Overshoot. 1, 2 attempts to go higher and then back down. Funny old day. Or must remember to trade a micro on that. Okay, 2 legs back. Is that going to work? I just don't pick tops and bottoms. I'm no good at them. Especially after that overshoot. I wouldn't necessarily thinking about going long. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. It's a funny old looking day, isn't it? Let's move that away a bit now. Let's put that up there. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. Make a quick cup of coffee and I'll be back. Okay. Okay. Push up 1, 2 times. Go lower. Maybe we are going higher. Still a bit on the fence here to know what's going on. It didn't act like an overshoot, I think. Yes, which is why I adjusted it. Oh, that you mean? Yes, I'm still a bit unsure about this, really. It's just... I mean, ultimately, it's a range, I think, at the moment, isn't it? I have been following you on Facebook and here, and I think you need to go back to basics. You're making too many gambling signs. To be honest with you, mate, it's only because I'm on a, excuse me, evaluation. I do take riskier trades on an evaluation, but it's like a bullish imbalance. Yeah. It's hard to know what's going on here, isn't it? Yeah, I don't trade like this on a Yeah, to be honest with you, mate, I'm reducing back to one contract. Two just has too much pressure, and it does. It stresses you out, and you have got a tendency to do that. Yeah, anytime, mate. Which is why I'm reducing back to one contract. Two is just too much. Do you not think it's hindering you? What? Which on about the contract size? See, up until I had that one loss, I'd taken 14 trades without a loss, and they were okay. They were solid trades. Oh, streaming. To be honest with you, mate, the times I blow accounts are when I stop streaming, so the streaming actually keeps me on the straight and narrow. And this is how I work anyway. I tend to talk to myself, so half the time I forget you guys are even here. Little whiskey helps to the edge. Tried that. It concerns me being able to trade without the streaming because I'm that used to it now. And in all fairness, when I've got people watching me, I'm less likely to do something stupid. So the new rule from next week, is I'll reduce to one contract, and if I have one loss in a day, I switch over to a sim. The beauty of that is I should never lose more than $200 a day because I struggle with the losses. So the beauty about switching over to a sim is it keeps me on the stream in front of you guys, and it allows me to chill out and calm down. Whereas if I close the trade, the stream, that's when I tend to go on tilt. Well, that's why you've just got to try to change things until you sort of find what works for you. To be honest with you, Clay, I think it's common for most people. I think it's just how it works until you are able to deal with those emotions. For me, it's losses, not the skill of trading. I seem to have a good win record. That first few weeks, I was trading about 94%. So I need to reduce my risk because it's the risk. It's not the trading that's the problem. It's the risk, because if I'm risking too much, it has too much of a psychological effect. I don't know what it is for this year, mate. I just tend to do it when I start a new account. My trades are okay. I've looked through my trades multiple times. Need to journal. Yeah, I know. To be honest with you, it was only up until a couple of months ago I started using TraderSync. But I think the first 14 trades I'd had one loss, and they were okay trade. There was one that was a bit iffy. So I genuinely believe my trading skill is enough to be able to make money and build an account. But it's the psychological side. The frustrating, my opinion on the psychological side, you have to keep having risk. You have to keep exposing yourself to risk to move forward. So you need risk, because obviously trading day in, day out, if you have that exposure to risk, you have those emotions until they start to become. But ultimately, at some point, and I've realised that you've got to realise I'm just risking too much. I don't tend to gamble. I tend to go on tilt. The UK, but in the US, it's not worth going bankrupt. Yeah, I'm not in any debt, mate, at all. I'm not in debt. I'm not in any debt at all, mate. I don't owe a penny. Actually, well, I got a. What have I got? I've got £130 on a credit card, which I put in my coffee machine, but I don't owe a penny to anybody. I'll be so no, I don't. I'm in no debt at all. And I usually just tend to just go for one or two accounts, whereas I know people like Moo and Wilson go for multiple large ones. Yeah, it still costs money, absolutely. How much have I spent? I would say probably 20,000 English, I'd say. Now, I've had $10,000 back from accounts, and I get so much from commissions from Apex for you guys using my code. So I'd say realistically, I'm somewhere around about £5,000 down from when I started. But you get a couple of payments and you'll soon get that back. So the good thing about the affiliates is that's covered my trading costs for the last year comfortably. And obviously that's taken off that initial. So my trading's not the issue. It's the psychological side. So my belief is, and everything I've read leads me to believe the only way you get used to that psychological side is just to keep trading, but you need to have risk. Otherwise, there's no psychology. You trade on a sim, there's no psychology there, and obviously that's the hardest part to get rid of, which is why I just tend to stick to one or two accounts. You are a full-time trader. You have another income. Yeah, I work weekends. I drive HGV weekends, so that covers my bills. I can earn £27-30 on a week on Saturday and Sunday, which is like $35-38. I do that, and I get some money from YouTube. Not a lot for YouTube. I make about $50 a month off YouTube, but then the affiliates, for the commissions that I get from Apex, more than covers my trading. So, but I've thought long and hard about multiple things, and I've actually gone through my trades. Yeah, I don't use my own money. I did. I put £3,000 of my own money in about 2.5 years ago and lost it, but I learned quickly. Stay away from those. So I only ever trade with Apex. I don't touch anything else. Do you admit when you make bad trades? I haven't seen it. Do I admit? Not sure what you mean there. Do I? I'm not sure what you mean there. Do I admit when you make bad trades? I obviously take trades which are not as good. Everyone does, but the way I see it, from what I gather, as you get better, you just slowly filter out the crap and filter out the crap. Now, some of the trades you see me take today, because I'm on an evaluation, wouldn't normally take. That one I would, that one I wouldn't, and that one I wouldn't. Today was not. Well, that one there, absolutely it wasn't. I wouldn't have traded that on a PA account, not a chance. But the reason I took that is because that looks like a leg down. 2 attempts to go higher, push strongly through the EMA. So I took that as a penguin trade, and it worked. I don't know anybody who does that, to be honest with you, mate. I don't know anybody who does that, who trades the same. Even people like Daniel that I know that uses Apex accounts as well. He trades 10 contracts, but he goes for, I think, 6 ticks and so and so. So I think everybody does to a degree. Yeah, I seem to be interrogated here. Trading isn't easy. There's no magic bullet. It takes time. Yes, sometimes you're going to take stupid trades. You are. It happens. But you learn. You trade day by day, and you just improve and you improve, and eventually, you take out a lot of the crap. But no, I mean, it's not. There's so much in the way. There's so much in the way of grey area. There's so, I'm not an expert trader. I've never said I am. I'm here like you guys, just learning and taking trade after trade. I learn. Your skills improve. They get better. You make mistakes. My biggest problem is the psychological side. Because I can build accounts, but it's when I seem to take a loss, it seems to damage me psychologically, which is always the hardest part to deal with. But no, I absolutely wouldn't have traded that on a what's it. But to me, that's a penguin trade. We got a leg down, 2 pushes up, strongly pushed through the EMA. That was a trade, penguin style trade. I took that. I was looking at this as a range at the time and took that. Would I have taken that on a PA? No. I tend to be a little bit more choosy in particular on a PA. Would I have taken that on a PA? Absolutely. High or low? But yeah, it's not. There's no magic bullet. There isn't. You just have to do the best you can. But if you trade every day, like Max says, screen time will improve your trading. Having a little bit of risk and having the psychological side of it. Is he my bank manager? He's all right, Clay. He's all right. He's just, that's part of the reason I stream as well, because I value people's opinions. He's not getting better. I think I am. I definitely think I've improved. I think I've improved. I have improved. My trading skills got better. I think I've improved. Because the way Harry talks like police investigate. He's okay, mate. He's okay. I have other traders that I talk to who are way more skilled than me, who say you've definitely improved, but you need to deal with the psychology. You're struggling with the psychological side. But I mean, you've got to do what you've got to do, haven't you? I'm not. I've only been trading for 3 years, so it's really. For me, it's the psychological. I don't have a problem with building accounts. I can seem to do it. Yeah, I mean, I've had $10,000 out last year, and I built the accounts. but it's when I just have a rather large loss for the day. It tends to. So everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Let's figure out what's going on here. I've got a connection problem. I think it might be your end, but I'm not sure. I think it's you. I think everything's okay. Yeah. Oh, I absolutely know my psychology is the thing about psychology, or my understanding of it. The only way the emotional side gets better is to expose yourself to those emotions enough times for them to stop using, what's the word, for them to stop having as much as effects, basically, enough effects. So you're on about stops and stuff. I've been umming and ahhing about, what's the best product to go for. 1.6, 6 ticks a point, 3 points. And I know I have that sort of mixed feelings about what the best thing is to go for, but I think I had a talk to a trader about this, and he said you tend to find your own way of doing things in your own niche, what works for you. Some people like to stick to maybe 6 ticks, other people like to go for more. I know there are some, I think Trader Strange, he tends to go on the Facebook group, he tends to go for 1-to-1. So you just have this mixed feeling what's the best to go for. So, Okay, thanks, I really enjoy it. Doing a good job at something like confirming what I'm reading. Yeah, that's part of one of the good things about the stream, really. If I'm looking at something a certain way and you are, if we're both looking at something a certain way, then, 2 heads are better than one type of thing. Yeah, I agree with you. It's just slowing it down, isn't it? But obviously, sometimes those emotions get in the way of it, which is why I've decided to go down to a contract and just stick at a contract. I might just stick at a contract and 2 points, but I have been looking into the 3 points because you kind of want to get as much as you can out of a trade, really. Yeah, no, the stream's okay, I think, isn't it? Yeah, I think initially you'll go through that stage of, I spoke to Mac about this, and he said it's natural as a trader when you're sort of newish to be constantly looking out for something, adding this to it, adding that. It's normal. Wilson just shorted and got stopped by that bigger bar. Yeah, I wouldn't be shorting up here at the moment. We're coming up to all-time highs, aren't we? Let's see if we reject off it. There is apparently some sell orders up here, but it's a bit congested up here, isn't it? I don't like any of this. Yeah, I know I need to slow down, but I go through a stage of clarity where things weren't nice. And in all fairness, if you look back on my trades 2 weeks previously, I averaged about a trade a day, which is selective. But yeah, I am decisive. I am decisive in my life. 1 minute I like this, another minute I like that. I'm very indecisive. Yeah, I agree with you there. It's sometimes where you worry about am I going for enough points? Am I going for too many points? It's something I do tend to worry about, and I'm forever changing my mind on things. You're not wrong there. And you can hear. Is this worth it that you put your body through? You get stressed and you can hear it on stream. It doesn't really bother me, mate, to be fair. It doesn't really bother me. I find when I'm on the stream, it keeps me less likely to do something stupid. It's usually after the stream where I've tended to blow accounts. So I'm bringing in from when I start these others just down to one contract. And what I'll do is I'll trade throughout the day. If I take one loss, I'll go on to a sim. So that'll sort of keep me at the chart, but it'll keep me away from switching off and doing something stupid. So at least I can then give myself a bit of time to calm down. But if I know I can only have one loss a day and then I've got to quit trading on an account, hopefully that will make me be a little bit more selective. I'm still a bit umming and ahhing about the tick size. Maybe just go for 10 ticks. I know What's-It does 10 ticks, doesn't he? A lot of the time. But, every trade is different. Some people are very religious. They stick to the same thing. I know traders who still stick to 4 ticks. Personally, I wouldn't dream of doing 4 ticks. I think if you look, 99% of trade or 98% of trades go for way more than that. But, everybody's different. It's not easy trading. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it and making a fortune. It's just one of those unfortunate things that just takes time. I have a problem. If my first one is green, I become more logical, but if it's red, it's tilt. Yeah, from what I gather, Bud, what's your name? Mush. Let's get that right. I hope you stick to it. Yeah, well, the trouble is with the psychological side, that's a lot of the problem. It affects you on emotional level, and when your emotions tend to take over, and that's when you tend to swap and change, and you know what I mean? Yeah, I know I did. Yeah, I know I did. I know. It's the psychological side. Trust me, if I wasn't streaming, I'd be worse than that. I'd be going for multiple contracts. That's what I've done in the past. That's what I tell. You've never seen me blow a PA account live on stream because I've only done it after. So having people watching you kind of makes you more accountable. So, but that's the plan anyway. You've got to try and make a plan and move on. If it fails, you've got to just keep trying. And hopefully with that extra exposure to the emotions, you start to get to the stage where the emotions don't affect you as much. So we can see and we can try. But thank you, mate. I appreciate that. It's not easy, is it? It's not easy. I know that. It's way harder than I ever thought it would be. It is tough. But from everything I've read about emotions, as I've said before, whatever happens in life that sort of conjures up powerful emotions, the longer you're exposed to them, the less of an effect they have on you. And there's nothing more emotional than money, let's face it, is there? We're one of the few people that can go out to work and come home in debt or come home, dramatically down. But I'm confident my trading's improved. If you look back on my trades, I used to get trapped all the time. You'll hear me talk about areas where I think it's a trap, and a lot of times it will be, so I've definitely improved. I do mention this looks like it's a trap, and a lot of the times it'll work. So, it's half the battle. As well as taking good trade, it's avoiding bad ones. But things seem to go smooth until I take a loss. So the only conclusion I can come to is my losses are too much, and it has too much of an effect. I mean, I had the account up to about $1,500, and I think I lost $425 in a day, which is about a third of your pot, which is just too much. Somebody told me even an experienced trader, if they lost a third of their pot, they'd be pretty anxious about it. So your trigger too, yeah. I mean, it makes sense to reduce your risk, doesn't it? I say you risk $10, you don't bat an eyelid. You risk $200, it's a completely different ball game. So I just have to hope the longer I've been doing it, my skill levels continue to get better. and my emotions continue to sort of decrease. And I think when the emotions start to subside, you'll find it easy to stick to your plan. I watch my fire, I don't usually comment, but I was pissed when I sent you P again. Where are you from anyway, Clay? Where are you from? Yeah, not as pissed as I was, mate. Where are you from anyway? Are you US? I think a lot of you guys are US, aren't you? Yeah, to be fair, mate, my PA loss is relatively small. I've lost 42. I know people who've lost 200 on the PAs. So I do tend to... I mean, I've had 4 twice. That's the most I've had. But usually I'll have 1 to 2. Oh, you Denver, okay. Usually 1 to 2. I know Wilson tends to go for 20, and I know he's lost 20 on 2 occasions. I think it's too much, personally. It's, you know, managing that sort of amounts of money per trade, I think is difficult. He's on 5 right now. He has, but I know he's passed another one this morning, so I think he's trying to build up again. He will come and hunt you there. You're doomed. I am trading 3 yes minis. Okay, I think that will be doable and limit my losses. Yeah, see, you're a bit older than wiser than me, and I think you're probably a more experienced trader than me as well, so you can probably manage that, I think. I've tried. I've spent a lot of time doing 2, and it's just too much. I seem to build an account, and when I take a loss, it's always when I take a loss, you know, I have the damage. I think I had 12 green days, 12 days without a loss. And the trades were okay. You know, I tend to monitor my trades with what Mac takes and people like Marco, and they're sort of pretty much follow those lines. It's just the psychological side. Blow their accounts, do it when they go on tilt. Yeah, I've been watching many YouTube. Yeah. The trouble is, it all's going well. I am from Batesville originally. Batesville. Okay, I'll take your word for that, mate. I'm not sure where Batesville is. Denver. Yeah, I know Denver. It's about 10 minutes from Oxford. Yeah, I got you. Oxford, Mississippi. I know we got an Oxford in the UK. Where a certain Mac... Oh, does he really? Ah, interesting. I'd love to spend a day with that guy. I wish he would show us his trades, or at least show us out of all the trades he's marked what he believed to be the better ones. Yeah, he has an office there. Oh, so he trades from an office. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he talks about the office, doesn't he? You tend to think most traders trade from home, but he's got kids. I think they're more grown up now, but I got to say, sometimes I think trading with kids at home might be hard work. I know he does real estate. Yeah, I've seen him on Facebook. Somebody mentioned he had a Facebook channel. He was showing someone around he had a camera going around a house that he was renting. He was talking about it, and yeah, you can clearly hear it's Mac. Like Max says, it does take years, this does really. And I've only really been trading for 3 years and this style for 2.5 years. And it does take time, way more time than I believed it would do. UK future trader, the best for a PA account, take 1 contract for the first 6,000 for a bigger drawdown to be safer, 2 contracts after 6. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Trouble is, a bad day, if you lose 1 trade on a bad bar, you're going to lose $200 maximum. It's just too much. I've tried and pushed to use 2 contracts, but I'm just kidding myself, really. It's just not working. It's just too much risk. At the end of the day, you risk too much. When you have your losses, they just do more damage. That was a picture perfect bull flag, that one there. Yeah. 2 pushes back. I do try and follow these now, head and shoulders as well. I consider that head and shoulders. We've got a shoulder, head, a shoulder, and down. That's part of the reason why I took that for a bit. These head and shoulders ones can be quite accurate. I do follow both flags as well. You'll hear me often mention them. Push up, little flag, and then usually when you get a good setup from somewhere, it continues on. Yeah. In 7 a.m. in the morning until 6 most days. Wow. I don't know how many hours people trade usually. I know some people say I trade too much. 3 hours, I didn't think so. I know a lot do the one and done. I don't trade a tick charts. 1.5 and 50. Oh, right, I got you. I only trade a tick chart because our sort of illustrious leader, let's call him Mac, trades 2000 tick chart. He believes it gives more detail, more information, so I don't know, who knows. Yeah, 3 years traded every day. Well, every working day. I spent 6 months with currency and 2.5 years on this. You do notice yourself getting better because you notice you get better at reading the charts and knowing where the setups are. I think the thing is it's keeping that patience and staying away from riskier trades. I'd had a really good run until I took a trade like this, a failure like this. It was through the EMA, but it was clearly a bit stacked up. We'd had a leg down. And I was thinking a leg down. What I should have done is just said it was too congested, because a lot of the times you'll hear me say I can't take a trade, it's too congested, and then I ended up breaking my own rule. Mac's dad was high up in Republican. Oh, was he really? Got made redundant. He kept the job until then. Yeah, I work weekends, mate. I've always kept the job. I used to work full time, and I'd come back when I've started and trade on the chart. I'd work sort of from around about 8 till 5:30, and then I'd come straight home. I'd have my tea, and then I'd spend 3 hours on the chart for the rest of the day, and I did that for about 1.5 years, and then wanted to put more time into it, so I started working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and trading full time on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's more or less when I started streaming, and then I realised I believed it was the thing for me, and I wanted to trade it full time. So I drive Saturdays and Sundays, and the odd bank holiday that US one we have, and I get this covers my trading. The affiliate covers my trading costs comfortably. So, in that sense, it's not sort of costing me anything. Did you say you drive on the weekends? Yeah. Well, I know there was a massive shortage of HGV drivers in the UK. So you can pick and choose your work. I mean, it's good money. I mean, I can earn £500 take home from just working Saturdays and Sundays comfortably. I think, I don't know, I took home £680 a couple of weeks ago, did 2 30-an-hour days. So you can earn a full-time wage out of working Saturdays and Sundays because they're paying time and a half. So that's comfortable. HGV, heavy goods. So driving an articulated lorry. Because there's such a massive shortage, you can just pick and choose your hours. I tend to work from 7 till 7 on a Saturday and Sunday, but it's a doddle. All new comfortable cabs, straight one droppers. It's great. And it's good money. So that enables me to trade sort of Monday to Friday. I got no debts. I don't know anybody has sent. Apart from $150 on a credit card, which I could pay off. It was just for a couple of coffee machine extras. Yeah, there's a massive. They reckon there's about an 80,000 shortage of HGV drivers in the UK. So if you've got an HGV license, you could pick up the phone and be working tomorrow morning. So we are making newer and newer highs. So let's have a look here. Yeah, you know if you're improving. When you've been trading Pats for 2.5 years, you know if you're improving. you know if it's. I look at Max chart every day. I'd say 8.5 times out of 10, he'll mark the trades I taken. Occasionally, he won't. But I compare mine to people like Marco's and a few others as well, and Thomas Wade's. And you know if you're improving or not. You can't not. You can't do something every day for 2.5 years and not know whether you're improving or not. So many times I identify a trap and stay out of it, and it would have trapped me. So it just goes to show you learn and you improve. Do you have to be in a group Max chart? No, you don't. He does his analysis. I'll show you. Not today. He does Monday to Thursday. He doesn't on Fridays, but I will show you. And he shows his trades. Also, Thomas Wade's one to look out for as well. He knows his stuff. He does a bar by bar. And when you see these charts every day and you see these other people marking them, and you can see your trades against their trades, you know whether you're doing right or wrong. If I take a dodgy trade, I know it's a dodgy trade. I don't do it out of naivety. I know it was a risky trade. But sometimes with emotions, especially if you've taken a loss, it can affect your decision-making process. Just trying to find it. Where is it? It's usually at the top. Yeah, I don't take a risky trade out of naivety. I kind of know what I'm doing. I know it's a risky trade. Okay, here he is. I'll drag him in. Now, Mac's a seasoned trader. He's been trading for, I believe, 27, 28 years. And if you look, he's been making videos going back 12 years. 4 videos a week. In fact, if you can look at some of his older trades, it is surprising how much of a bigger stop he uses and how he swaps and changes things around. I've seen him move stops as well. He posted quite a lot of his trades years back, but yeah. Latest would have been yesterday, 17 hours ago. He talks about the day, where all the setups are, shows you where he believes the channels are, and so on and so forth. And he does this Monday to Thursday, so this is all free of charge, bud. And Thomas Wade as well. Where's Thomas Wade? Subscribers. I'll bring it over here. I've got to make it bigger. Thomas Wade's another one as well. He knows his stuff. That's Thomas Wade here. I think he's been trading about 8 years. But he puts a video on every day as well, usually 20 hours, 1 day, 3 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 10, 30. So most of the time he talks about what trades. He'll go through it individually, bar by bar, and he'll identify setups, and half the time he'll show you. Yeah, I like Thomas Wade as well. The only thing that frustrates me about him sometimes is he takes a runner, but sometimes he'll let it go 5 or 6 points and come out and take him out. So that's the only thing that frustrates me about him. But yeah, long waits between trades, however, yeah. I find it heartbreaking to see him take a trade and it goes for 6 points and come back and stops him out, and then he takes another one which goes for 4.5 points, and I'm thinking you've lost 10 points. So I think sometimes he'd be better off just taking the whole thing as a scalp. But everybody's got to do their own thing, haven't they? But I like him. He's quite chilled out, and he talks through whatever he sees. That he's one to look out for as well. So Thomas Wade, I'd definitely watch him. You can. He has got a group as well, hasn't he? You can join. You can't see him trade, but I believe he's got a forum or something, or a Discord. Sorry. What's going on here? Oh, can everybody hear me okay? Something seemed to freeze up there. Thanks. I'll share a great morning pre-market show. 5:30. He also covers. Again, I'll share a great morning pre-market show. Trade Brigade. I'll say that. Let me take a photo of that. Blippy McBlip. That's the name I haven't heard for a while. Didn't we have a conversation about that boat, didn't we? A while back. Boaty McBoatface, wasn't it? Yeah, we did. I'm pretty sure it was you. It's been a while. Yeah, it has been a while. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? Let me just take a photo of that. Trade Brigade. 1 second. Trade Brigade. Blippy McBlip. Yeah, I remember that name. How you doing, my friend? Yeah, we had a conversation about that boat, didn't we? The boat that was named. I think people were just taking the piss and they called it Boaty McBoatface or something. I think they had to call it that. Unfortunately, blew my PA account early this year. You're on your own there, bud. I think it's part and parcel of learning to trade. I don't think there's a way around it. The psychological side has such an effect. It just my belief's always been you just need to do it for long enough until that psychological effect just starts to decrease. That's the only answer I've got. But I think evals are good because you have to have a risk to get the exposure to the psychological side. Unfortunately, it does cost money. There's no two ways about it. You can't learn to trade as a retail trader without it costing you money, unfortunately. But it's just one of those things. What have I missed there? Kev, I've watched every one of his videos, around 3,000. Cool thing is, same strategy since day one. Yeah. The only thing I will say is he never shows you his trades. So I do wonder whether he breaks his own rules because he can and he's experienced enough. I just wonder whether because I've mentioned this before, when you teach somebody something, you have a set format, don't you? And then when you learn it, you tend to go out in the real world and sort of find your own way. So I'm just wondering whether he teaches us the basics, but he's, changed or adapts things as he goes on, because, even at our level, you start to see patterns, don't you? Things like bull flags. You'll never hear Mac talk about a bull flag, but they are very effective. But perhaps he takes certain trades his own way, but he doesn't necessarily tell us because he keeps, 100% we're human. Bend the rules once, yeah, more experience, you break that. Yeah. Not it's a bad thing because he's experienced enough to do it. If you trade for 25 years and you've seen a pattern happen again and again, you'd be daft not to. But I don't think he tells us because he doesn't want to confuse the picture. He gives us the basics and then lets you go out and find your own feet, because he has said to me in the past, it's natural to look for other things, other ways of helping, ways of cutting corners, ways of making things easier. He's told me it's natural. It is. That's one thing I find I get better at. I get a gut feeling about something, and if I'm looking at a setup and it doesn't feel right, I stay out of it. And it saved my neck multiple times. Find live train on YouTube, the vast majority of reviews. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, lots of people have said about the streaming, but I genuinely think it helps me. I don't think it helps everybody, but I only tend to do stupid things when I'm not on the stream. It does concern me whether what my trading be like if I'm not streaming. But there you go. Yeah, but it would be nice. They don't even need to talk. It'd be nice to just watch someone trade. Not that you really want to copy him. I just like to get into the header Mac and see, what he actually looks at, the types of trades he takes. Because a lot of the times he'll mark a dozen high probability trades. Well, in my opinion, there isn't a dozen high probability trades in a day. If there was, I think Mac would be taking them. But I just like to get into the head of him. And just, one day, just watch him from a distance and see what he does, what type of trades he looks at. And, if he gets a trade ready, what makes him change his mind? I don't mind. I mean, I don't do it all day. I usually do it for about 3 hours. It's between 2.5 and 3 hours, I think, most of the time. But I've been thinking about streaming. It definitely feels good to know some people are learning from my mistakes. See, I learn from you guys, you learn from me, and I think sometimes when there's a bunch of you in the room together and you're learning from each other, that's part of the reason why I started. And I know a lot of people say they like watching the stream because it's a bit of company, because it can be quite a lonely old game, trading, so I think it's nice sometimes to sort of mix it up and chat with other people. But I've got a pretty good talent that my mouth can work and I can watch what I'm doing. I tend to think out aloud. If I walk down the street sometimes, I'll be chatting with myself. It's just because I think out aloud. That's how my brain tends to work. I'm more of a talky and a visually. So when I'm chatting with you guys, I'm actually still watching what's going on so I can chat. My mouth's very good at working it out for itself. It just tends to, as you know by now, it just tends to go off on one. But I am watching what I'm doing as well. I'm not just blatantly chatting away. So we've got a touchy. So there's a leg and a leg. So that has probably played out. I don't always look at the comments. Sometimes I'll just have a quick grasp over. We're past that now. So Lance Mac will tell you if you take a trip to Mississippi for a heart-to-heart. Tell you if you take a trip. What, he'll have a chat with you. UK, you are lose El Camino. Oh, I see what you mean. I'm going to say I've heard that expression before, but I don't quite know what it means. I think it's nice to have some company when you're trading. You can mix some ideas up. I appreciate that, mate. Is that light of the road? Oh, is that? That's a nice comment. Thank you. It's nice to chat to other people. I love the fact that I'm chatting to people all around the world. I chat to my wife sometimes in the evening, and I say I was chatting to someone from Morocco the other day, and occasionally we chat. Woot's not been here for a while. We chat from Woot from South Africa. Loads of you guys from around the US, and Kev as well. I showed my wife a picture of him on his boat. So I love chatting with other people. It's just, I'm stuck in a room by myself at home. There's nothing nicer than being able to chat to other people. It's a pretty lonely old existence otherwise, trading. But I actually think the stream makes me not want to look stupid, so I tend to hold for better trades. Now, I still have my issues, of course, but when you got people watching over your shoulder, so to speak, you do tend to want to do a better job. So I think it helps keep me on the straight and narrow. For a heart-to-heart, I would like to go and spend a bit of time with Mac. I just want to watch him trade. It's weird. When someone's very good at something, you want to watch him. He probably does exactly the same as we do, but I just still want to watch him just to see what makes him tick. And the only conclusion I can come to why he doesn't show us his trades is he takes some trades that are outside his teachings, which is perfectly fine. But I think he thinks it might just confuse people. He thinks he might get 1,000 emails going, why did you take that one? It's not what you teach us. What you teach someone and what you do yourself isn't always the same thing. You know, you'll get taught to trade, to drive by a driving instructor a certain way, but, you know, when you get out on the road, you sort of find your own way of doing it. You know, it's amazing how people can do exactly the same job, but kind of do it completely differently. I'm wondering whether over the last couple of days we're having something like maybe a couple of legs. I think that would be quite possible. Be interesting. We've never been in this 500 range before. Well, we're up as high as we've ever been. So leg up, 2 legs of correction, and then another leg up. Thomas Wade, check, started YouTube. He did some streaming too, but that did not work so well. I seem to remember him showing some of his what's-its, and I seemed to be quite surprised how many he was losing, and I thought, this guy's good because he's showing us his losses. But I was quite surprised how many losses he was taking. But yeah, you just don't know how some people work when people are watching it. Actually, it doesn't make no difference to me. That's why Mac always speaks about context. Yeah. Oh, context is everything. I thought when I learned to learn what a strategy is, I can just apply it and I'll make a fortune. But strategy is about 10% of it, of the actual trading process. Strategy, I'd say, is about 10% of it. 90% of it is context. That's leaving the psychological side aside, just talking about the action of a trade itself. Because sometimes I was taking a second entry short here in an uptrend because I thought it's a second entry short, but so we're in an uptrend here clearly. So maybe we have a leg and a leg. So yeah, sometimes my patience get the better of me, and I take a poor trade. But I do believe the more you do it, and I've spoken to a trader buddy of mine, Nick, and he's mentioned an experienced trader that he knows, and he said, you will just slowly start to filter out the crap. You'll know with experience and time where the crappy trades are. I mean, if you talk to Mac about trading, he'll say it takes years to trade. It's difficult. It takes a lot of time. So, you know, to think I'm not getting better, I'm not improving after 3 years. Well, I am improving, but I'm clearly nowhere near an experienced, consistent trader yet, because it does take time. Just get trapped left and right. Yeah. If you look at me now, if you listen to what I say sometimes, excuse me, I'll say there is a second entry long, but I think that's got trap written all over it. And a lot of the times it will attract me. So the fact that I can identify areas of traps keeps me out of them. And I used to get stuck in traps all the time. So it just goes to show you can't look at this chart day in, day out and not improve. It's impossible. So we got a leg down, we got a break. Let's see what happens here. We are clearly in an uptrend at the moment. I start doing since I'm watching you is waiting on higher lows and lower highs. Yeah, something I don't do that much is take a second entry long. Certain scenarios I will, but I, in most cases, wait for a higher low. Especially when we get a break. Sometimes when we get 2 legs down, a lot of people take higher low and it triggers you and then comes down and then starts to move. So you do, when you lose trades, you do start to identify areas where you're losing these trades, and you do learn from it. It's impossible not to. But it does take time. You just have to keep plodding on. But compared to what I used to be like, I'm a world apart. You know, I used to take 2, lose 2. Now I don't. You know, up until when I tend to go on tilt a bit because I've had a bad loss, I can have a pretty high win percentage. But it is the losses that affects most people. So the only obvious scenario I have is to reduce your risk. Makes sense. Less risk, less stress. Okay, so we got this little channel down. We've had a break. I wouldn't really consider taking a trade here. It's a bit congested. We could come back here, so we could have a leg, a break, and a leg. I'm not interested in this short because we're clearly working up, and we could just do something like this, just go sideways. Until we come over here a bit, so you could easily be stuck in something. But yeah, I think sometimes much better to wait for the higher low. It just stops you getting trapped. You leave me talk about it all the time. I mean, look, there's a second entry long there. You might say, okay, we're in an uptrend, second entry long, nice bullish bar above the EMA. But I'd be thinking, it's this, it's that, I'm not sure, better wait for the higher low. What happened? It triggered you. Fortunately, it didn't come out and stop you out. But there is a higher low there, but then you got congestion, three or more bars back to back. So, you know, second entry long, you take it there. But I think a lot of cases you're better off wait for the higher low. There is a second entry long there, well, 2 legs down, but at the time I had it a possible range. But you got a higher low, but even better there, the failure. But you do learn the more you do it. You can't help but not learn and improve. Yeah, absolutely. Nomad, train, discretionary. Well, computers could do it. In fact, they do to a lot of degree, don't they? But I think sometimes you need the human connection, don't you? I mean, computers will obviously get better. But I mean, another thing with this is as well with scalping, it's a lot quicker. It's a lot fast moving. You know, if you were trading the hourly or the 4 hourly, you'd have 20 minutes to think about a trade. So sometimes, you know, with the emotions of what might have happened in the last trade, you might take a slightly risky. You know, it might not seem like a slightly riskier trade at the time, but. So practice makes perfect. It's about practice. You're going to get it wrong and get it wrong, but sooner or later, it's like anything in life, you'll start to get it wrong less and less. You'll never eliminate mistakes completely with human beings, but you will start to get it wrong less and less. So what I'm seeing here on the 4,000 tick chart is we got this channel up, we got 2 legs back to the EMA there. Let's remove this because it's going to confuse it. So touch, we do seem to be having something like a channel there. So 2 legs back, so there is a possibility. 1 leg, 2 legs back, but same again, I never take that first one. If I've got this channel wrong and there's an overshoot or it's losing momentum, we're at the top here, if you call that the top, we might be losing momentum. And what I found, the further it comes away from here, the more chance we've got of having a break. And if you take a second entry long and it has a break, damn fine sure it will trigger you first before it has a break, which is why then I always wait for the higher low. Then it's a better indication then that we are going higher. Sometimes I'll take a clear 2 legs back. We had one, was it yesterday? Was it up here? It was on one of these, wasn't it? That one there. I didn't need to wait for the higher low there. Clearly 2 legs back. We got a channel up there. 1, 2 legs back. Nice bullish bar. Clearly went up to the highs. Mac marked it. I think most traders marked it. But yeah, some I will. But a lot of them, depending whether I think there may be a break, I tend to leave it alone. So there is 2 legs. It actually doesn't look too bad on the 4,000 tick chart. But the fact that we've been here twice and we're not quite as high makes me a little bit nervous about taking a long there. We're not at the bottom. Does it matter? It may not do. We're not at a full measured leg. Does it matter? It may not do. We've also got a bit of a range, so maybe it's a fell break out of this. I'm just not a massive fan at the moment. Mind you, on the it looks really good on the 4,000 tick chart. I mean, that's a nice channel. 2 clear legs back, nice big bullish bar. My slight concern is I'm not sure whether we're losing a bit of momentum, so I'm going to just leave that alone. See, on the NQ, we're very close to the highs as well. It might work, but for me it's a little bit risky. There's a little bit of resistance up here, so I mean we've had this high, we've tried once, twice. Sometimes this looks to me like it's trapping longs, and I see this all the time, and then it just goes woof. So for me, it's a little bit risky, that. It might work, but if it does come tangling down, if that's a word. Okay, this is the NQ, so we're very close to the top there, so that's another reason not to take it. If that does push up above this, I think that might be okay, we'll see. But if you take a trade on a big bar like that, you don't really want to see that. So it's about a 3.5 point risk. The trend's your friend, as we know. Sometimes it might help you out, but we've not made 2 full legs. It's a bit congested. To me, it looks like it's losing a little bit of momentum and due for a break. Yeah, so see when when Clay says, I'm not picking or anything, says you're not learning anything, you're not improving. I'd have taken that trade 100 times over. It's clearly 1 leg, 2 legs. It's clearly a second entry long, 1 leg, 2 leg. Not far off the. Well, you can adjust that key entry point to touch there. So if you adjust that like that, you could see off the key entry point. So you might trade it at the failed breakout, clearly 2 legs back, but just experience over time has told me this just something doesn't look right there. Brooks demonstrates on YouTube a sequence of scouts for 1.10 trades within an hour, 8 wins, very impressive. Interesting. I think I need to watch some Brooks. Is it a recent video, that, but is it? But it's a nice bullish bar. It's clearly 2 legs back. And it's a second entry long, so there we go. There's a first entry. Actually, there's a second entry, so it's not technically, is it? So you could recount that. So it's clearly 2 legs back, but to me, it's losing momentum. So personally, I think it's due for a break. So that's another reason. So if we get a higher low, then I would have taken that. It's Close below the EMA, I think not safe, yeah. Well, that bullish bar, you could say it's closed slightly above it. Some may think, okay, so we've got a range there, let's fade the breakout. So they may, but I don't know. I don't like all this, and experience after a while tells you when to stay out of trades. But saying I haven't improved, not long ago I'd have taken that straight away. But you do start to filter out some of the crap. So you do improve. It just sort of happens slowly, but triple test on the MNQ. Yeah, I brought that in about a couple of minutes ago and said it's struggling. It's making multiple attempts. That's a trade there. See, failure triggered you, stopped you out. So I had a feeling we were going to come down. I mentioned it literally a couple of minutes ago. I'd like to see it bounce on support. It was no fell second. Yeah. So that's why I like having the NQ on there. We got a leg up there, made 1, 2, 3 attempts to go higher. Trapped some longs possibly there and there, came down, stopped both of them out. So that's another reason why I have the NQ on there. Okay, that measured move's played out. I'm still not ready yet. I'd rather wait for the higher low. Because, I mean, in fact, there is a possibility that could be more of a spiking channel, which would work actually perfect. Leg and leg. I'm tempted to take that. Yeah,
Order filled.
No, I wouldn't normally take it on a what's it, but I like the fact that this looks much better. I want that one there, did I? And push that one a bit. Two legs back. Nice bullish bar off the key entry point. Let's put that there and put that just above there. So let's get them all out in one go, I think. 9 ticks. Let's see how it finishes. There's going to be some stops there, so I think that might be the best option. I'm going to have to watch some Albrook's trade 15-second and 1 minute chart. I'm going to have to watch some Albrook's for sure. Just not sure whether there's going to be a lot of resistance there or not.
Target filled.
I'm going to get out for $300 there. I think that's probably all right. I don't want to be too greedy. I've got another 6 days to do this. I'm up 2,000 already. This is the chart, the 4,000 tick chart. I'd definitely say it's more of a spike and a channel. That actually fits beautifully top and bottom. So we got 2 clear legs back. Nice big bullish bar. So I'll be surprised if that doesn't push up. My only slight concern is we're into new territory here, so you just don't know. What did I get in for? 2.5, 1.5. I'm happy with that. We're in new territory. It may just be a pullback and a push up, but we're up into new territory. We've never been up here before, so it was a 1.5, wasn't it? So I don't want to be greedy. Plus. Take your profits now. Have a rest. What time is it? We're nearly at 3 hours anyway. Yeah, I'm only 6 minutes off 3 hours. I'm done anyway. So, yeah, I mean, there are trades I would have taken. I took that because I figure I had to. When I adjusted that, we got a touch, a touch, a touch, and a touch. Nice push off the key entry point. Clearly 2 legs back, fitting beautifully at the top. I had to take that. That one high-low, same again, nice trade. That one was a bit risky. The part of the reason why I took that one is because we'd have trapped some longs there, and that looked like, which I dabble with a little bit, a shoulder ahead, a shoulder. I expected that to come down, so I took that. That I wouldn't never normally take, but I saw that as a penguin-style trade, leg back, 2 attempts higher. When it pushed strongly through the EMA, for me, we'll be coming down to test these, so... You know, how much of it is luck and how much of it is a little bit of experience and knowledge, which sometimes, you know, so, you know, it's one of those things, isn't it? Yeah, you too, bud. You too, Chris. I'd expect that to push up. Trouble is, we are into new territory, but it is 2 clear legs back. So I'd probably expect that to push up. We'll just let this move, and then I'm going to knock it on the head for the day then. Second, 24. Yes. Yes. You are welcome, Kev, my friend. Anytime, mate. Yeah, everyone have a great weekend. It's all right. I'm just taking some screenshots of my my chart. Second, 24. Thank you. Just want to see what happens here, just to see if it does push up. You are welcome. Anytime. Is this going to push up or not? It's clearly 2 legs back. Got a touch. I had it slightly different down here, but that's a better option. A little bit of a spike, so we've got a touch. It's fitting beautifully, in all fairness. Touch. It couldn't fit any nicer. It's a really nice fitting channel. Push up sideways, we hit this area. Push up sideways, we hit this area. So I'll be surprised if it doesn't at least get above here. But we are into new territory, so you never quite know. You never quite know what's going to happen. But I mean, people are, from what Max says, people try and pick tops. So after we've had that and 2 legs up, you think people may be thinking, okay, maybe we're coming down now. So I think it would be likely to break above here, but whether it would snap back or not, I don't know. But I hate it when it moves slow, so yeah. I'm hoping they're going to give us another offer soon. We've got 71% off. I think they're $35 on resets is okay. That's not too bad. But hopefully, I think this is due to run out in about 5 days, so hopefully we may get an 80% off. Another reason why I just got a 1.5, because you just don't know, do you? It was a nice trade, but also a huge risk. Mate, to be honest with you, the only reason I took it is because, one, it was an evaluation, but what I will say, touch, it's fitting perfectly. It's clearly two legs down, and it's reacted, and you'll hear Max say this, it's reacted really strongly off that key entry point. So I think it's a contender to take. As certainly Mac would say, to get out before these highs. So if you took it, let's say a tick above there, if you got out for 2 points, you'd have comfortably got 2 points. Well, not you would have done, getting out before the highs. And Mac will often say this, 2 clear legs back off the key entry point. Let's see how good the legs are. Now, I wouldn't have taken that on yeah, look at that. I can't argue with that. Right to the tick. 2 perfect measured legs down off the key entry point. I don't think you can deny that. Let's see if it works. When it goes to 90%. We haven't had a 90% for a while. It tends to more 80%. But the 80% is not too bad in all fairness. Let's see what happens. I expect it to break at least these anyway. We've come back, tested this a bit. It looks like it's going to. It should do. 2 clear legs back. I mean, look how it's reacted right off the key entry point perfectly. Big, strong push up. So, yeah, okay. So, but the trouble is when we're in new territory, you don't never quite know where it's going to go. But let's see it break these highs, and then I'm going to knock on the end for the day. Be interesting to see if anybody marks this, because I actually don't think it's a bad trade. It's clearly on a bigger picture. Okay, let's look at the 5,000. Okay, so we're at new highs now, so it worked. This is a bigger picture. 4,000 tick chart, clearly 2 legs back, nice big bullish bar, and it clearly worked. So I don't think it's a bad trade, actually, in all fairness. But it's subjective, isn't it? But I think Max fell second entry technically. I think Mac's reasoning would be we're touching here, we've confirmed 1, 2, touch it, reacted strongly, clearly 2 legs back. You took that one. Yeah, I think it was okay. I can't see a problem with it. It's clearly 2 legs back right to the tick. It reacted with that. You know, sometimes I'll question something, and I do this quite a lot, and I leave trades, and then when I look back on it, I think, actually, it was a good trade. And then when I see every bugger else takes it, I'm thinking next time, if you think it's a good trade, just take it. But we had a break, we've had a channel down, 2 attempts to go higher, 2 pushes. That's the key as well. We've had a channel down, made 2 attempts to go higher with a break, 2 clear pushes down. So that's played out. Not only is it played out, it's a perfect measured leg to the tick, and we've reacted strongly off that off the trend channel. So I don't think you can deny that. And the fact that it's closed just a touch bit, I've seen Mac take longs a few ticks below, as long as the setup's good. So I'll be surprised if I don't see people like Marco maybe trading that 2 clear legs back. Everything right about it in a way. It's why I just jumped in, because sometimes I'll argue and that's a fail second entry short technically. Yeah, I'll argue the toss sometimes and think, well, just take it. But it's clearly 2 legs to the tick, and look, I think at the time I had my channel slightly different, but that does look like a spike, and it's come down, bounced once and bounced twice, and it's caught there and there. But not only that, it fits twice there and twice there perfectly. So I think that's a good indication that we've still got plenty of momentum when we have our 2 legs back, and the way it's worked. Other traders would seem to agree. I think you can always tell a good trade because usually they tend to work, because if it is a strong setup, I think it encourages more traders to get back in. So be interesting to see if this reaches that 5,000, and it'll also be interesting to see whether we bounce from it. I have put that up there. In fact, we had a big rally yesterday, didn't we? We've had this bit of a range, and then we look like we've had 1 leg up with 2 legs back and maybe another leg. So I'd be interested to look back later and see. But yeah, we had that big strong rally, didn't we, in the last sort of 20 minutes? It was about here, wasn't it? Yeah, literally from 9 o'clock to sort of 9:20. It kind of went up about 30 points, didn't it? 20, 30 points. Fell second entry after your trade there. Fell second entry above the EMA. Which one are you on about? I was talking about the failed second entry after your trade. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's actually not a failure, is it? Not on my chart anyway. These two are the same level, so there's our push up. There's our first entry. So it's only at first entry really before it. Well, it might be different on your chart, but these are matching bottoms. So there's your first sort of first entry. But yeah, I mean, it's 2 clear legs back, isn't it? Channel break with 2 attempts to go higher and then 2 legs down, and then how that reacted off there. I think for me, it's why I jumped in the end. I mean, I got out for a 1.5, but I mean, it clearly reacted. But there you go. That's me for the week. But yeah, when these 2 go live, I got to adjust things so the stress gets to me less. I'm just risking too much. The trouble is, I mean, it's not unusual to have, a 3.5 point bar, and then you put a tick above and a tick below. If you lose $400 on a trade, and you've built up $1,200 in your PA account, you've lost a third of your pot. I think an experienced trader, if they lost a third of the pot, will be pretty stressed about that. So it makes sense. Everything I've ever read about trading, people always say inexperienced traders always risk too much. And the trouble is, if you're risking lots of money, it's no wonder it has a psychological effect on you. Now, I'm pretty sure if I reduced this to trading 1 micro, I wouldn't have any stress at all. But the trouble is, it'd probably take you about 5 years to build an account. But I'll try 1 contract, see how that goes. And if it doesn't work, or I'm still having troubles, then I've got to reduce it. Maybe even go into the micros. But I think it's reducing it. It makes sense, reducing it till you find a level which doesn't stress you. So there you go. We're done. So we're actually not far off that 5,000. Usually around numbers, you do get a bit of a bounce. So we're only 16 points. 16 and a half points. But we've never been up it before, so you never quite know if it's going to... I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if by the end of the day we were up here. There's still quite a bit of the day left, so it may come up and react, but... there you go, anyway. So that's me for the day. So I appreciate all your comments. I hope you've had a green day. There has been a few trades around. I think the trades of the day was that one. And I actually think that one was pretty good as well. It was 2 clear legs back, and it reacts to that channel, and the way it's pushed up tells me there's a lot of buy-in to do that. So it tells me people are going along in this area, but it actually fits beautifully. The more I look at it, it fits perfectly. So it's 2 clear legs back. Why wouldn't you take it? So I think that one was okay. That one was an absolute belter, I think. Lovely failure. At the time, unfortunately, I did notice it, which is why I took it, but at the time, I still had that as a bit of a range. Yeah, Indy, everyone enjoy the weekend. Yeah, I appreciate all your comments. So I've talked a lot today. I do have days where I can't shut up. But there you go. So I'll be back on Monday. So have a great weekend. Stay safe, and we'll do it all again next weekend. Take it easy, all.